All right. Speaking of health, I guess we have this latest hit piece from, well, I shouldn't call it a hit piece, not really a hit piece, but this latest piece from the CBC posted yesterday. And it's a first person account. After coming out as trans, my return to sex work has been unexpectedly rewarding. And I'm terrible at pronunciations, but this
Well,
comes
this name,
from,
yeah,
yeah, um, Ivia Shimshan Abadia
cool.
Wong, I think.
Yeah, sounds good to me, Tamara. Yeah.
um, I don't even know where to start with this one, Drea. It's I'm so shocked that this is news,
I
in
know,
today's day
this
and
is
age.
trash. Well, it says, well, they go by them, got into sex work because it's helped them make ends meet during times of financial hardship. However, maybe it is her. I'm so confused now. Her newfound confidence in their transgender body and queer sexuality has made her realize they might finally be ready to leave the profession. Okay, that was such a confusing paragraph. They are interchanging her and them over and
So
over. So I guess they
there's
are
a
a they,
new
her. Yeah.
yes, there's a new one where you can be a she they or something, or
Oh my gosh.
her they. Yeah, you can be all of the pronouns depending on what day it is. So that might be what's happening here.
And so we
But
don't know what biologically they are. Oh, it's so confusing. And there's a new one. I don't know if you heard this, and I forget how to pronounce it. It starts with a Z, but now there's this new one, and maybe it's just the people on TikTok for now. But they're saying, they can't be summarized, so they are not to be addressed at all. Have you heard that one yet? Like there is no way to pronounce them. There's no pronoun. You just don't
I'm
address them by anything.
oh,
I'm like,
this
oh my
is
gosh.
that is just so extra dehumanizing. I have not heard I'm
Yeah.
hearing about this for the first time right now, and that is just awful.
Oh, it's
Imagine
bad.
just having no self-worth that you're like, just don't address me at all.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought the it one was bad because that's out there too. They're being called to it. But basically, yeah. And why is CBC publishing this? Like, this is not a mainstream sort of issue. You know what I mean? Like, this is just one crazy situation. Since my money was already safely stowed away. Okay, no, that's it. So is this a journalist from the interior of BC writing this, right?
This is yeah, I don't even think it's a they are a journalist.
Oh
It's a
my
first person
gosh.
column. And I guess this
Right. Okay.
individual has written other pieces for the CBC, but basically it's glorifying prostitution as a way to get you out of poverty, essentially, is how I read this article. Um, I guess it is about a man who identifies as a
Yeah.
woman.
Well, if you
Um,
scroll down and see the picture, it clearly looks like a man. I said it. Oh my goodness. I can't help it. It's too confusing. I don't know what to say. There you go. So it says,
yeah, because if you misgender somebody, it's violent. Like that is raging violence if you misgender them. So you have to be so careful these days because I guess words are violence now
mhm,
to these people. But yeah, essentially, this article is giving this first person account of this man who's now identifying as a woman, doing sex work, and how it wasn't part of their 10-year plan, but they're glorifying prostitution, essentially selling
mhm.
your body for money as a way to get out of poverty.
Yeah. And of
And
course, they call it sex work.
yes, yeah, all the language around these things, to under the idea that it's destigmatizing certain illicit acts,
Mhm,
is what you're seeing clearly on display here in this CBC article.
mhm. I'm not
And then
surprised anymore. I'm done being surprised on what's going to come next with this stuff. I did I'll hold this one. I'll do a report on this one because I got to get my facts straight. So we'll just move past what I was going to say. But uh, keep checking stopclassroomgrooming.com and it will eventually be up there. But that's where we throw a lot of this stuff, especially when it obviously connects with the kids. But the normalizing of doing sex work just to get by and things like that, it does find its way to the kids. And that's where I'm going with an article that I'll be coming up with.
Yeah, the ripple effect that the mainstream media has on amplifying these kind of voices, right? To use the language of the left, which I love doing, by the way. People are like, oh, Tamara's a liberal in disguise. No, I just love using their language in a way that is not against them, but just using that language because it seems to be the way that they want to take things. So I'm going to use their language. They're amplifying these voices of a clearly mentally unstable individual who has self-identification and identity issues, who's engaging in illicit acts for money, illegal acts for money. And you have your mainstream media glorifying and amplifying this individual and their story and their lived experience. And so when you amplify these voices in our mainstream media, our state-backed media, our government and taxpayer-funded media, this ricochets down. It has a ripple effect. And of course, this is going to start infiltrating our school systems that are also state and taxpayer funded and getting into the hearts and the minds of our children. This is the natural progression and the way that things will grow and ripple and ricochet out. And so, absolutely. That effect is, we're seeing it play out in real time, especially if you have children in the school system, if you're talking to teachers in the school system or the support workers or your own children, you're seeing and hearing in real time what effect this is having in that system. And it really unfortunately ends up affecting a lot of the already marginalized and at-risk youth, people who don't have a solid family home life to go back to, children in foster care and state care. So it's really sad to see how much this agenda is capitalizing on those vulnerable at-risk youth and are really capturing and recruiting them into this idea of gender being a social construct. And then, as we've seen with people like Billboard Chris, that leads to medicalization of these children and potentially even mutilation of these children. And as they become adults, which we're just starting to see the recourse and the repercussion of that now, because we have nothing to base it on historically, they are regretting their decision with their very grave regrets and repercussions for their decisions. And we're living it. It's really sad to see it all unfold.
Yeah, the UK was a little bit ahead of us, but like you said, not much ahead, right?